On today's episode of Pathmark Presents, I have a very special guest with me joining today. Please welcome Scott Berman, who is the co-founder and managing director of ORB. So for all of you who don't know, they are the fastest growing click-to-consumer retail activation agency. They combine years of digital and marketing expertise with innovative merchandise production techniques to deliver initiatives that extend the lifetime value of their customers. Scott, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really looking forward to learning more about you, your company, and ultimately just seeing where the conversation goes.
Boris, thanks for the intro.
Definitely, absolutely. So for all of our listeners out there, tell us, what does your company do? Who are your clients, and what is the problem that you guys solve for your clients overall?
Sure. It's a pretty difficult one to elevate a pitch, so I'll do my best. We're essentially a framework that's been created, probably more out of luck than judgment, I would say, that combines technology and human expertise. Our aim is to deliver commercial solutions. I hesitate to say e-commerce solutions because we're not just limited to e-commerce. We help brands on a global level where it connects to supply chains. So obviously the movement of goods in the world as we know it today has become particularly challenging, whether it's Brexit or global pandemics that are causing those challenges, and the war in Ukraine with the cost of goods. We've become experts at kind of navigating the challenges and using technology and people to do so, but not in a way that is by putting more feet on the ground, really. It's all about automation and trying to get the best for our clients. And we underscore all of that through innovation and ethical trading and sustainability. Do you want me to give you a bit more detail on the structure of the business there?
No, I think that's perfect. You summed it up, very to the point, and I love it. I'm here for it. So my next question is, so how do your clients how do they find you overall? What is your top client acquisition channel? Is it mainly digital marketing? Is it inbound, or is it a mix of a lot?
Yeah, it's a good question. We are an agency, so my background's advertising and marketing. I've been doing it for 35 years, and I'm old enough to remember the days pre-digital where it was all about TV and print. The answer to that question, if I'm honest with you, is recommendation and word of mouth. We've been very lucky in the fact that we have grown somewhat by incident, but every time we do a good job, it seems to lead to someone finding out and them being interested and it moving on. And before we've had time to sit down and really go into strategic detail, which we do for our clients, and talk about ourselves, we're already into the next implementation. It kind of becomes a bit frustrating in a way, because whilst you want to win new business, and I shouldn't be complaining, we're actually getting out of practice of what I would say is good marketing for ourselves. So that old saying, do as I say, not as I do. I think it's the old doctor's analogy here. I think with us, I don't think our marketing nor our website and those sort of areas are as good as we make our clients. And I think that's something we really need to work on.
Sweet. That's awesome. And, I love how, you've been in the industry for so many years to where you can be able to see, okay, this, where it's changed, where it's evolved, and, even where it's going to. So I think it's you've got that vast experience under your belt as well. So you're able to equip your team how to, be successful in, this digital realm nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So now we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about the website. So what would you say are the major strengths of your website, and what is an area of improvement that you would like to focus on your website?
Yes, it pretty much fits with what I was just saying, actually. The website, I often talk to our clients and they tell me the first thing they want to fix is their website. And I go straight to that question, why have a website? And it often stumps clients immediately when they can't answer that question. I think it's become such an important part of the way we do things. It's almost become a kind of a deferred setup. I'm going to set up a business. I need a phone number and I need a website. Not enough people really think about what the website's doing for them, and I think we're probably guilty of that, probably because of time and not enough attention on ourselves, too much on our clients, which is the way it should be. But when we first started the business, we were partnering with a company who backed us, so we were kind of sharing a website ecosystem, and of course that brings immediate problems, right? Especially if you're doing slightly different jobs. That then came with the challenge of location being the only reason not to drive traffic to a specific place, which meant we would maybe argue over leads and all that sort of stuff. So in the end, we rebranded as ORB, and since setting up the website, I think what we found is when people get there, they actually find that the information that's on there is well structured, succinct, but there's not enough of a place for them to get straight to the point of often what their problem is, and often that they are struggling to find a place to kind of say, I'd like to find out more, or to sign up. And I have this constant beef with my team about CRM. I'm a big fan of CRM marketing and the approach. So I'd say that the CRM side of stuff is still nowhere near good enough on our website. I think content-wise, look and feel, these are the things that are my background, and I can make them look good. Converting, though, is a much more challenging task. And I think that our outbound and inbound marketing needs to do more to make sure that people are landing on the relevant pages and the relevant content. And we just simply haven't got round to that yet.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for summing that up for me. I appreciate it. So now what we're going to talk about next is you as a leader. So with being the co-founder and owner of your company, I'm assuming, you wear a lot of hats. Every day looks different for you. So what does a average day look like for you? Whether, you're in the office or you're remote, what's an average day for you?
There's just, the only thing that's average about my day is probably the standard number of meetings I'm in. Other than that, that's what I love about if it's being a business owner or it's just a business that we have created, but the problems that we have are require divergent thinking to solve them. This is good because I'm not an academic. I was lucky enough to go to private school, and I was not one of the cleverer children. But what I did have was the ability to solve problems, and I think that that's a much underestimated skill set in life and in business. And I don't think it's taught well enough. But I won't get caught up in the conversations about modern education. However, I feel like the business runs a little bit in the way my brain does, and as maybe in a good way and not such a good way, that days tend to be very quickly focused on what I see as the priority. However, I don't want to be that owner where I kick the ball up in the air and everyone follows it. And I'd say to people, you've got to run your own priorities, lead your own days and challenges. But I think that we're a matrix business, so it means that direction is important. And the senior team we've got, the way we break our business up is into think, make, sell, manage. So we have 4 pillars of kind of expertise in the area of e-commerce, and each of those areas is kind of led by a different leader. And I think the think side of what we do, the kind of strategy for business, is myself. So it means I have to be involved on every pillar. And sometimes I just think to myself, and you have to do this as a business owner, what is the thing that you need to take away so that you can do more of the higher value stuff? And that's always, that's the ongoing challenge. A typical day is brilliant. I take my puppy into work. We go for a walk around Farringdon. We have breakfast as a team at times. We have lunches together. We like to chat a lot and kind of concept, but we like to work on and get it done. And I think that finding an environment where people can respect each other, but there's a positive tension about getting work done, is a really important part of the balance and of the day to day. So yeah, it's a good cultural business.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love how, by cultivating this environment, and setting up the pillars and trusting your team to do their job and, investing into them, they're giving that back to you as well. So you've got a powerhouse at your company, and I think that's great.
Absolutely. And listen, you've got to learn to trust your staff. I mean, when the things I've learned, and there's plenty of them as a reluctant entrepreneur, is there's been times where I've either been unwell and you stress, right? If you're unable to do the job, who's going to do it? And I have been proved horribly wrong that I am not the one who's needed. This thing would go on without me. And I kind of love that, right? I mean, I actually at times have to tell my own staff to actually just please do something I've asked, because for them, they don't care whether I own the business or not. For them, it's the right thing to do, and they will challenge it. I love that. It's kind of, Scott, you're wrong. I'm doing it this way, and you know what? I encourage it. It means the business can live without having to have me there every 5 minutes holding hands. So it's good. It's great.
Absolutely, that's awesome. So we're getting close to the end of our interview, and I'm going to send you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Cool. Sweet. What is the last book that you read?
So books are an interesting challenge for me. The answer is every time I read a paragraph, I fall asleep. So I'm an audio books person. And Richard Dawkins, I can't remember the God Complex, I think was the last one I listened to. But it's all about the news for me. Newspapers. I just like reading the news and culture pieces. It's an easier way to fall asleep with the iPad on your face.
Yeah, there you go. So if there were no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing you would want to have fixed in your role today?
There was no boundaries to technology. Wow. I really do think it's reporting. I think it's the most underestimated part of business in being able to report what you need to see, whether it's marketing, how much money you're making, whether your sales pipeline's working. And there's so many different views that having a world where I could have that kind of matrix of touching the screen like in Vanilla Sky and being able to see the report I want, I think that's the one thing I would love to be able to have. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Who knows? Maybe AI will come up with that pretty
There
soon.
you go.
Yep,
Pretty likely.
Yeah. So if there was one piece of advice you could give yourself, going all the way back to the beginning when you restarted this company and building it from the ground up, what is one thing that you would tell yourself?
I don't think I'd give myself any particular advice. It's been brilliant. The ups and the downs have actually helped us. Brexit has caused us to become experts. A global pandemic made us better at what we did and more nimble. The war in Ukraine and the cost of goods has meant we have to work harder to find better pricing for our clients. So actually, we're a business that the more challenges there are, the better we become. And actually, our motto as a business is fail faster. It's something I learned off of an old creative director I worked for, and I believe in that. Don't keep failing. Let's not make a thing of doing it over and over, but certainly failing faster is how we work to be better at what we do. I think paying more attention to sales is probably the headline on what I would say. I've always underestimated sales and the importance of it and how good really good salespeople are. I've massively underestimated it, and I now realise that no one can sell my business like I can, and unfortunately, that means I've become the salesperson in the business, which worries me. But yeah.
Well, there you go. So I want to thank you so much for taking time to join us today on Pathmark Presents. But I also want to give you the last word. If someone were to forget about everything we talked about in your interview today, what is the one thing you want them to remember about your company overall?
Well, I suppose for us, it doesn't matter who you are as a client. We can help and fix pretty much with anything you do in e-commerce. Even if your business is running well, we can still help you scale up. We can still deliver more. The truth is, though, whether you're an employee or a client, we're a great business to work with, and we can always make your life better. So, come and have a chat with us. It would be the message.
All right, perfect. You heard it here. All right, thank you so much for joining us again, and for all of our Pathmark listeners, check us out next week.